All right, so the first one, mostly good. Watch your language. It should be falls or rises, not down, up. So it's either falls left, rises right, okay? That should be the actual language that you're doing. And then for 2, you didn't have to, I repeated it so you could see what it would look like. You didn't have to. If it says x minus 1 twice or squared, that means there's 2 of those. That means there'd be 2 1s. And then x plus 3 to the third means there'd be 3 negative 3s. So the multiplicity, you will write just like this. Like you'll literally do this on your quiz. You'll go x equals 1, and then you'll give me the little 2 and you circle it. Comma, negative 3, and you'll give me the little 3 and you'll circle it, okay? It said from there, determine whether it crosses the x-axis or touches and turns around. On that kind of question, it's all built into the graph, so you won't actually have to write it out on your quiz. But if I did, I would say that at 1, because it's even, it bounces or it touches and turns around. I'll take either of those. And then at negative 3, because it occurs an odd number of times, it crosses through. So again, like on the quiz, and you'll see it on the quiz review, it kind of puts all this together into one, which we'll do one more practice tomorrow with all of it together. For 3, I started it, but I wanted to show what's going to happen in between here. So it falls left, rises right. When I go to solve for my zeros, I can actually take out a 2x. You didn't have to, but it makes it easier because they're all divisible by 2. You did have to take out the x. And then when you factor it, you get 2x is still on the front, then x minus 4, then x plus 2. Solve those, you get 0, 4, and negative 2. So that's where I'm at. I plotted my points. I drew that falls left and rises right. Now the y-intercept this time is not going to help us because the y-intercept is already given to us. It would be 0 because x is 0, 0. Y would also be 0, but all of this would go away. So it doesn't really add anything. It is going to be a line on your quiz, so you are going to answer that, okay? But it doesn't help my graph. If I want to know how high to go and how low to go in between those spaces, what do you have to do? You have to plug in a point. So in between negative 2 and 0, I have to plug in a point. So if I plug in 1, negative 1 there, I get 2, negative 1 to the third, minus 4, negative 1 squared, minus 16 times negative 1. And I get negative 2. This would be minus 4 times positive 1, so negative 4, and then positive 16. So negative 6 plus 16 is 10. So negative 1, 10. And if it's off your graph, that's okay. You'll literally just label it. So it's going up, okay, coming back down. And then I need to pick a point in between 1 and 4. Some of you picked 1 and some of you picked 2. It doesn't matter, okay? I would say if there's a lot of space in between, I would want to go more in the middle. This time they're not that far away. If you pick 2, I'd get 2 times 2 to the third minus 4 times 2 squared minus 16 times 2, 2 times 8 minus 4 times 4 minus 32. These cancel out. And I get negative 32. So 2, obviously, negative 32 is going to be way down here. I would continue and come back up. You have to find the points in between, okay? You have to give me a more accurate graph.
Is that if only 1 in between is just 1?
Say that again?
Just 1 in between?
Just 1 in between each set of zeros is fine. Questions? All right, so we're going to finish 2-2 today, okay? This is part 2 of 2-2. It's called, and I don't know why I put the wrong title on your thing, and remember I still can't edit because my PowerPoint's not working, so we're just going to correct it, okay? Chapter 2, Section 2, Polynomials and Rational Functions, okay? They are of higher degree, but that is not the title of your section. Today we are doing the reverse. Instead of finding the zeros, I'm going to give you the zeros, and you have to give me the equation. So it will say find the equation of the function, or find the function with the given zeros or with the given roots or with the given solutions, okay? So if they are listed out 1, 2, then I do an equation where I do x minus whatever is there. So if it's x minus 1 and x minus 2, and then you FOIL them out. That's it. That's all you have to do, okay? The trickiest thing here is making sure you change your signs, and then you're going to see in a moment we're going to get things like square roots and that kind of stuff. But all you have to do is just put it behind x minus and then FOIL it out. So example 1 says find the zeros, or the polynomial function that has the given zeros. There are 3 there. So if I do x minus negative 1, what happens? I get x plus 1. If I do x minus 3 and then x minus 4, those stay. So it's the opposite sign when you plug it in. Now I have to FOIL this out. You can pick any to start with and then FOIL that times the third one. It doesn't matter what order we do this in. So if I'm going to multiply these first two together, I'm going to do first x squared, outer, negative 3x, inner, positive x, last, negative 3. And I get x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then I bring down the other one, and I multiply that. X squared times x, x to the third. X squared times negative 4, negative 4x squared. Negative 2x and positive x, negative 2x squared. Negative 2x and negative 4, positive 8x. And the last one, negative 3x, positive 12. And then combine them all together at the end. So there is an x to the third. There are 2x squared, so negative 4x minus 2x is negative 6x squared. There are 2 x's to the first, positive 8, negative 3 would be positive 5x, and then plus 12, the constants by itself. And then we are making this an equation, so at the end we're going to say f of x equals that. You need the equation, okay? So you need the f of x. Questions so far? All right, now you get ones with radicals. So it says find the same set of directions. Find the polynomial function that has the given zeros 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus root 2. The process is exactly the same. I do x minus what's there. So if I did x minus, the difference is this time that negative has to go to both of those. So the first time I'm going to write in parentheses and then I'm going to distribute it out. And then x minus 3 minus square root 2. So that negative now goes to both. I'd get x minus 3 minus square root 2 and x minus 3 plus square root 2. So distributing the negative to all of it. With me so far? Okay, then x times x, x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x. X times square root 2, positive root 2x, or x root 2. You could put that in either order. I don't care. Then the 3 goes negative 3 times x. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Negative 3 times negative, then times positive root 2, negative 3 root 2. And the last one is root 2. Negative root 2 times x, negative root 2x. Negative root 2 times negative 3, positive 3 root 2. Negative root 2 times positive root 2. What happens when you multiply a root by itself? It's just that, right? It's just 2. It would be root 4, which is just 2. So it would be minus 2. If you're a visual person that likes to line them up, you can totally line them up, like visually, like one vertically over the other one. That's fine, okay? But there are going to be terms to combine here. There is only one x squared, so that goes by itself. But then there's a negative 3x and a negative 3x. There is a root 2x, but I can't combine numbers that don't have a root with ones that do. So this stays as negative 6x. Then I have a root 2x and another root 2x. One's positive, one's negative. They cancel out. I have a negative root 3 root 2 and a positive 3 root 2. Those cancel out. And then my constant that's left is positive 9 and negative 2. So this is positive 7. And it equals f of x. So if the two radicals given to you are opposites, notice they're the same signs, like it's 3 plus root 2 and 3 minus root 2. The only sign that's different is the in-betweener. If they give you like that, they will always cancel out at the end. So these should not have a radical in the answer if they are opposites. Questions on that one? All right, so now it says find the polynomial function with a leading coefficient of 1. What does that mean? What does a leading coefficient of 1 mean? Means that at the very end, my first thing should not have a number in front of it. So if it's x squared, it should just be x squared. If it's x to the third, it should just be x to the third. Then it says it has the given zeros, multiplicities, and degree. So it says that it has a 0 of 3 with a multiplicity of 1. What does that mean? There's only 1. So when I write that one out, it's x minus 3. Then it says a 0 of negative 2 with a multiplicity of 2. What does that mean? Means there's 2 of them, so it'd be x plus 2 and x plus 2, because it'd be a minus a negative. And degree of 3 means at the end, my equation should be an x to the third. So already I know my first term should be positive x to the third, because it's got to be a leading coefficient of 1, and it's got to be an x to the third, okay? Now I can multiply these out. I can use the shortcut because this would be x plus 2 squared. I can use the shortcut on the squareds, which is square the first one, double the product, so it'd be positive 4x, and then square the second one. If you don't remember the shortcut, don't use it. Multiply it out. And then just don't forget to bring down the first one. So I get x squared times x, or x to the third, x times 4x, 4x squared, x times 4, x squared, x times 4, 4x, negative 3x to the second, negative 12x, and negative 12. And then we combine our like terms. F of x would equal x to the third. There are a 4x squared and a negative 3x squared, so positive x squared. A positive 4 and a negative 12, so minus 8x. And then the constant that's by itself is negative 12. Yeah, sure. Questions? Not bad, right? So this, again, is not on Monday's quiz, but it is on the test, okay? The homework tonight, I think it's only like 4 problems. It's on WebAssign, okay? You can get started on that. You literally have 10 minutes. You can get started on that, okay? And then I'm going to post some extra practice. Remember at the top of the module, in the last module, I put like a prereq page. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to put some extra practice there with your complete the square, with your factoring, with your quadratic formula. So if you need to do it, make sure you're doing it.